What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew, with my other host right here next to me.
What's up? It's Dee. Good to see you again. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the pod, whether it be here on YouTube or an audio version. We have that on Spotify, Apple Podcast, all those good things. Just be sure to follow. It really helps out.
Yeah, guys, we are getting some subscribers, a lot of comments lately. Keep them coming. We got more content coming every week this offseason. The Seahawks have their guy. Finally, they called him. He answered back. Geno Smith, just inked a deal. What was 3 years?
3 years, 105 mil.
All right, so what does this mean for the Seahawks that they're committing to Pete Carroll and Geno Smith?
I think they're going to build a solid-ass team, dude. And it's not that Geno Smith is like a world beater. It's that Geno Smith is actually a decent quarterback. And this is going to look in probably next offseason even like a steal, because it's not a make or break contract. They're not paying Russell Wilson money to this guy. So it actually looks decent. I think that they can continue to just build out the team around him and even pivot if they do like field calls for a Lamar Jackson or like someone pops up on their draft board that they absolutely need. Like, I think this is kind of perfect, like best of both worlds. You can pivot off of Geno, but realistically, like, you're fine rolling into the season. You know this guy is a serviceable starting quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I love the move for them. I think this is the second best team in the NFC West, for sure. They have a lot of great young pieces. They played hard last year. The Rams are going to be worse. The Cardinals are going to be worse. And this team it doesn't fully scare me, but they scare me a little bit, to where if we got them in a wild card round, the 49ers against the Seahawks, it'd be a tough matchup with Kenneth Walker another year in, DK and Tyler Lockett still doing their thing, and Geno just fits perfectly with what they're trying to do. And then their secondary has some good young pieces. This still leaves them in position if a guy like Bryce Young falls to the first round, and they can trade up and get him. Like, they can sit him for 2 years and see, or they can, if Anthony Richardson, who blew people away at the combine, still goes in that mid-first round area, who's to say they don't trade up and get one of these guys, Do you think all of those quarterbacks are going to go like top 8, top 5?
No, the guy who I do see like kind of falling down with a little like is CJ Stroud, just because Bryce Young in all actuality should be QB1 in this draft, but Anthony Richardson just showed out in the combine. So if you're looking for a freak athlete, that would be the one. Like, so it's Bryce Young, then Anthony Richardson in my book, then CJ Stroud. I think if they do love CJ Stroud, it's not unheard of to actually move up in the draft and go and get him.
They have the 5th pick and their 20th pick. I just said the mid draft because I don't see them drafting in the top 5 a quarterback when they just signed Geno. I was figuring they get a really good guy, maybe a defensive piece at 5, and that 20th pick move up a bit and see who drops.
Yeah, maybe Will Levis drops. I mean, he looked good. He had a cannon in the combine.
Oh, yeah, he's throwing the ball pretty hard.
I throw hard.
But yeah, I don't know if all these guys are going to go top 7, top 6.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're going to see a little bit less of a run than everyone's expecting on these quarterbacks. But yeah, I mean, it does leave open opportunity if they did want to move up to mid first round. Like, it's not unheard of. And I think they could, sit someone a year or two if they fall in love with them during this process.
And I mean, who's to say next year? There's a pretty good quarterback class coming. So this definitely leaves the Seahawks in a good spot to be good now and to be good in the future and potentially better.
And realistically, they don't have a lot of holes on that team. Like, their offensive line, they got 2 tackles last year in the draft, and they just played the shit out of them. They just let them have at it, and you get better by taking reps. So they're going to be probably worlds better than what they started at last season. Their D-line can actually, beef up, which I would use a bunch of picks on that D-line and linebacking core. But their secondary actually looks pretty good, and their offensive weapons are not bad at all. And this is a deep tight end draft. So if you want to pick up another tight end, perfect.
Yeah, and if they were at number 5 to get the Georgia guy who just got arrested,
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, that's a pretty solid piece to add to this defense at the 5th pick, where this guy was talked about getting the number 1 spot.
Yeah,
So-
well, even that, I don't. Between him and Will Anderson, like one of them is probably going to be left on the board at
Just
5.
because all the quarterbacks going
Yeah.
top 4, top 3,
I'm feeling pretty hopeful if I'm the Seahawks.
and I'm feeling pretty worried if I'm the 49ers.
I mean, but there's still 2 ducks there in the Rams and the Cardinals, so feel pretty good there.
All right.